Order of the Sleeping Dragon OSD versus Game Freaks. Yes, this is round 2. Round 2 is still a best of 1, so it's single elimination. Now, Game Freaks had successfully taken the win in their previous one, if I can pull up that open. They successfully defeated Lurk Patrol NA, an Order of the Sleeping Dragon successfully defeated Elite Murloc Chieftains. Now, I want to make sure that I've updated this information and everything is all good to go as L. There we go. Update. Make sure the titles are all good to go. Dragonshire is the map we are on today. I like this map. Honestly, I like this map. This is known to be the map that you take the opposing team to if you feel like you are a better team. Now, of course, the maps are predetermined for this tournament, and Dragonshire happens to be the one that is going to be coming up. Now, we do see... What do we see? What are we seeing? What are we seeing? We see Genji ban coming out. Genji is pretty strong on the rotations. Top lane is very important on this map, however. So if you pick up the Genji for the rotations, being able to take down the opposing team's top lane is pretty big. So just being able to nullify that potential gank is, I would say, a pretty important ban. Gonna look to ban out that Dahaka. Now Dahaka pretty good on this map as well. And we've seen it with, what? Globals, a good solo laner. Just an overall good pick. Some CC, bulky frontline, etc., etc. Maiev, gonna be first picked here on the side of OSD. Now, don't see too many Maievs nowadays because they're usually first banned, but with the nerf, a couple of changes did happen. So I'm excited to get to see a little bit of Maiev here. I hope I'm live because it doesn't look like it's going live on my Twitch. No, it is. It says that I'm offline for some reason. Well, it says I'm streaming, so hopefully it's working. Alright, so. Should be good. There it goes. Sweet. Good to know, good to know. Alright. Maiev first pick. I like it. I like the Maiev first pick. You're going to need something that is going to be able to deal with that. Maybe a couple of Unstoppables. Garrosh is a good maybe counter pick because Garrosh tends to go well with Maiev. Medivh is a okay counter pick, I think. Portals will be helpful. Portals kind of nullify the tether because you still get stunned, but it's not as severe. You don't slingshot all the way back to her. You only slingshot a slight distance, and the portal will help with that. ETC and Stukov being picked up. I like these two together, especially with that silence on the end of a mosh pit, or during the mosh pit, or like maybe silencing somebody who isn't in the mosh pit. I like that pick. ETC just a great overall hero, great kit. Just being able to stun, gank, just good peels, etc., etc., self-sustain. So many things about ETC that are amazing. Stukov, just good for disengage. Good hero. Probably one of the number one healers right now in the meta. And then pair that with Maiev, looking to get some Fan of Knives damage. But even Greymane, however, looking to try and negate that. Greymane does have the ability to take the camps, which is something that OSD is lacking right now. I'm not sure Maiev's camp taking ability is all that strong. We do have... what coming out of the ban? We see a Malthael ban. I think the Malthael ban is just kind of target that solo laner. Malthael can also take camps fairly successfully. I like the ban. I don't think it's necessary, but I think it's a solid ban nonetheless. Maybe it's something that you don't feel comfortable going against, and getting rid of that is just ideal. Please bear with me. The government's trying to call me, guys. They want my vote. Alright, but we're looking at a Garrosh ban. Now, if I have Garrosh ban... I think the Garrosh would have paired a little bit better with Maiev. I've seen that pair more together. Like, I see them together more than I see them being, like, taken apart. At least I think so. That's what I remember, at least. Because you would throw people back into the Warden's Cage and stuff like that. Maybe throw them out of the, tether to be tethered back in. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I feel like the Garrosh ban is a little interesting. I feel like you would have wanted to grab that for yourself. However, Garrosh does have an interrupt on the ETC Moch from a range, so that is something to keep in mind. Next two picks, you're going to be looking at potential solo laner here, or at least I would like to be seeing a solo laner come out on the side of Game Freaks. What am I thinking? Tyrael, Malfurion. Okay, so with Medivh, you kind of mess up your draft a little. Medivh's going to be looking for those stacks, so you're going to be wanting him in the 4-man. Assuming there is a 4-man rotation. Greymane might have to be that solo laner here, despite the excellent camp-taking abilities. Tyrael, not necessarily the best solo tank, but the shields are pretty darn good at mitigating some damage. Malfurion, number 2 best healer, I think, or number 1, number 2 best healer, like, interchangeable with Stukov, great pickup nonetheless. I think that the draft is looking fairly good. Again, they're just really lacking a strong solo laner on both teams. Sonya is still available, so is Blaze. And both of these teams could use that extra frontline body that is going to allow for slows and for heals, for self-sustain and stuff like that. So I think Blaze being picked up here would be ideal. They're going to pick up a Rexxar, though. Wow, okay, so Rexxar is going to be up in that solo lane. Junkrat for a little bit of poke. I feel like the Junkrat-Maiev synergy might be, like, I don't know, conflicting. Same with the ETC. But again, it's poke damage, it's whatever. I would like to see the Blaze, because I think Blaze does okay into Rexxar. I actually haven't seen the matchup, but I can only presume that that Blaze is capable of going up against the Rexxar, and I think that they need another tank here. Now, Medivh's damage, please do not underestimate that damage. It is incredibly high if you are familiar with playing Medivh, or if you're a good Medivh player. You know that you're capable of doing quite a bit of damage here. Final pick. I like Blaze, but they're gonna go with Zagara, so they're gonna have Zagara versus the Rexxar. Now, Zagara, you could take Serrated Spines here at level 4 and look to stack up all those autos onto the Rexxar. Now, it is possible, well, I mean on the Misha, but it is possible, but you lose a little bit of your wave clear abilities and kind of gain more PvP oriented. So, you know, it's interesting to see how this will go. I like it. I think both teams, you know, kind of picked up some heroes that you wouldn't necessarily see all the time. So I do like where this is going. All right, let's get this game underway. Come on, everybody, let's load. All right, over here on the left-hand side in the blue. We have Order of the Sleeping Dragon. We got Vykel on that ETC. Woven gonna be playing on that Maiev. Silent Shoe on the Junkrat. Corgi Booty on that Rexxar. And we have Trinth on the Stukov. And then over on the right-hand side in the red, we have Game Freaks. We got Big Wiz on the Zagara. Ernie Burn on that Malthael. Tazdingo gonna be playing that Greymane. Sechel on the Tyrael, and then the no-named bird. Let's actually grab that up right now. We got Mayog on the Medivh. I think that's very interesting that you can't see the name So Mayog right there. He's going to be looking for some stacks. We do see the 5v5 right away in the mid. Porgy going to be microing that Misha just a little bit. A big stun there from Vikel. But a bigger root there. Going to be looking at, oh, the Maiev looking dangerous there. Woven potentially looking for a big tether, but unfortunately will not be able to do so. They clear up the lanes, and then they decide to make their way down into the bottom lane. As expected, you're going to be seeing this 4-man rotation. Now, it looks like Junkrat was able to get there. Do we see the tether off of the Maiev? She does get rooted, so unfortunately will not be able to get that tether. Tyrael going to be able to take a great portal there from Mayog as he is able to get his team out and about. Now, middle lane, sir, still has the ability to be soaked as OSD does get that bottom lane cleared up pretty quickly. Silent Shoe using that bomb to get him from those rotations faster, and especially at level 13, you're going to be seeing that potential of the Ripper Air if he does opt for that. Woven going to clear up that, potentially looking for a gank up in the top lane. Will not be the case right now. Will be rejoining the team onto their siege camp. Both teams looking to try and get the siege camps. Greymane does have the superior power of doing so, as Junkrat, I don't believe, is able to cleave both of these together. His auto attacks do bounce, but not the case here. Both teams, they are able to get that. That'll counteract each other in the bottom lane. Not too big of a deal, but both shrines are being held over by the side of OSD. We have Malfurion with a big root there, and now being bumped over top of the ETC, going to be able to escape, but allowing OSD to control that bottom one still, and potentially looking for a cap. Medivh is stalling out the Maiev, as Tyrael looking to go in as well. We have 10 stacks already onto that, onto the Master's Touch here. Arcane Rift stacks. You do require 40, and you do lose all those stacks on death. Game Freaks, their siege camp have been taken down, but Greymane looking to make some quick work of the ones in the bottom lane for OSD. Malf going to pick up that Broccoli talent here at level 4. Both teams now are level 4. Potentially looking for a Greymane to try and get back in. Great bomb placement by Shu, as he does look to potentially try and get around that. And you can see he engages there, and now potentially he's getting, the body blocks as he looks to get away. Great dodge there from Tazdingo, is successfully able to get around the ETC. Good body blocks there from Vikel, using that big hitbox of his to try and deny the escape of the Greymane. Now, we have a 2v1.5 up in that top lane. Rexar might actually be losing Misha here, as Medivh is looking to try and stack as much as possible off of that Rexar, looking to potentially get 1 or 2 stacks at a time. Big Wiz having a lot of troubles up in this top lane. You can see there is a ton of creep everywhere here. So, maybe manage the creep placement? I don't know. I think it's a good amount of creep. It's definitely good. But we have the rotation up from Seachel up in that top lane to pull from Woven onto that Medivh. No big deal for him. He's going to be able to get a couple more stacks here and there, and then make his way up to the top shrine. Rexar definitely going to be having a lot of troubles with that, especially with the Medivh there. Not going to be able to do too much, as Maiev and the Tyrael look to duel it out in this middle lane. Not going to get too much done here, as Maiev doesn't have necessarily the best of wave clear. The duel for the bottom shrine is being held off by ETC versus the Greymane and the Malfurion, yes. We have Woven looking to potentially go in for a tether, but will not be the case, as he will opt to, play it a little bit safer and wait for the team to come in and engage. They saw they captured the bottom shrine. They don't have to worry about it too much yet. As now Tyrael making his way down. I didn't actually catch this, but Mecha Tyrael is banned as far as I'm aware. So, nobody's made a comment about it just yet. So we'll let it slide. But just for next time, if you guys are watching this, Mecha Tyrael, as far as I'm aware, is still banned in HGC and everything like that, and that's the kind of rules we're following. Top lane now has been captured by the side of OSD. I didn't even catch that until now. Dingo looking to potentially go in and get slid on by the UTC, but a great Malfruit there for a little bit of zoning. Tyrael looking to potentially zone out this Maiev as well. Does catch the catch the tumor there and try and get rid of that. Do I have water? Water would be nice. Oh, yes, perfect. Both teams looking to go in for their siege camps. This is just standard play as Tyrael is denying the Maiev cap in that center lane there. Medivh makes his way up to the top lane to help out Zagara. Rexxar looks like he has to back. Maiev looking for a big tether here, potentially grabbing the Greymane, but will not be the case. They don't have anybody else to help him. Potentially a tether coming out here. We do get the tether onto the Tyrael, but no follow-up, as well as that speed boost. We do have the jump, which is now on a 12-second cooldown. Keep that in mind. No more 8-second invulnerability frames. How are we looking on those Medivh stacks? Already sitting at 28. Duel now for the bottom lane. Going to be looking for a big pick. Great boop over on to the Tyrael. Going to be taking a couple of shots from the cannon there, as he's going to be making his way out around that back line. Now, Greymane stuck in. Will get tethered, but will not go out of range. But will still, unfortunately, fall in that bottom lane, granting first blood. Now, the shrine is being held, but Medivh does have the ability to poke down whoever is there, as well as Tyrael does have the shields to kind of mitigate a little bit of damage here. Maiev will be looking to potentially go in and start that cap. Will get the cap, so no interrupt there from the Medivh, playing it a little bit safer. Does get the teleport over the wall there, denying the punt, which would have been a huge chunk of damage to the Tyrael's health. It looks like he is waiting on a tap here from that well. Will not be the case, as the mid wall will go down. The Cursed Bullet does come out. Unfortunately, will be missed here on that Dragon Knight. It looked like it missed, at least I believe it did. Which means level 10s are still being selected, actually. ETC has not picked a heroic talent as of yet. We got the Massive Shove, I believe the Bigger Bear. We have the Junkrat Tire going out, gonna pick up that Tyrael. Now, it does look like they've changed the colors, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's not banned anymore. I don't know how it functions, because I thought there was some blue. It could be with the Sanctification. So, Dragon Knight going to be able to grab that middle fort. Does have only 10% health now. Is tanking that tower as well. Looking to just get a little bit more pot shots out onto this bottom fort. Looks like they should be able to get this regardless if they have the Dragon Knight or not. Potentially looking for that tether as well. But the Broccoli will come out to try and deny that engage. And it looks like they were successful in doing so. Rexxar facing the Zagara in that top lane, as a big mosh pit coming out from Vykel, but the Sanctification going down will be able to not save anybody, unfortunately. A little bit maybe misplaced, but that's okay. Big Twilight Dream to help with the disengage. Mayog getting very low, does not want to lose those stacks, needs to watch his health, because he is getting close. Actually, he's done, never mind. He's finished, guys. Don't worry. He has completed those stacks, which means he does no longer need to worry about dying here. Very good for the Medivh, as looks like siege camps will be popping up for both teams, as OSD does opt to group as 4 and position down here and capture this Bruiser camp. Now, Bruiser camp in the top lane will be taken by the side of Game Freaks, but OSD sitting at that level 13 talent here. Now I'm curious to see, did we pick up Medusa Blades? We did in fact pick up Medusa Blades, so no Serrated Spine, and then Vicious Acid, so we got the slow here. I think that's an interesting pickup. Big invasion by OSD onto the siege camp. Big invasion there. That's going to be pushing the bottom lane along with the Bruiser camp. Now the Mage Minion is gone, so they don't have a spell shield, so I think they're going to let this kind of push out on its own. Not worried too much about it, and then potentially maybe make their way up into that top lane and capture their own Bruiser to counteract the Bruiser that is currently pushing out on their top fort. Now, Zagara does feel pretty confident here, but will start to back off as he does notice that they are all missing. Big Wiz playing it a little safe. Heads up play by the Zagara player there. Just kind of playing it safe. I think it's a very good idea to back off there. You got a little bit of damage. Actually, you secured that bottom cannon for your team, as Junkrat solos the bottom siege camp, and the Bruiser camp in the top lane will now begin to push out the top lane. Shrines are up. Top will be secured by OSD. Bottom will be secured by Game Freaks. Both teams now have level 13, which means we are on level 13 talent tiers. However, two members have not picked up their 13s yet. We do have Nidus Network, so we're going to be looking for that. There we go. Zagara coming down for some team fights here instead of pushing out that top lane. Now, Rexxar still in that top lane, so we do have a 5v4 There's no real hard engage, especially without a Maw. We do have the Holy Ground coming out as well. The Broccoli going to be catching that Junkrat. Big Twilight Dream, but not interrupting the Power Slide. Vykel barely getting away with that Power Slide. That will definitely allow him to survive that encounter there, as he's going to be looking to try and heal up. Touch the tap. Big Curse Bullet goes out. Power Slide being interrupted from the Holy Ground. Medivh getting booped away. This fight is all over the place. We're looking for a big pull here onto the Tyrael. Big Sanctification going to be allowing him to get out, but this means Junkrat can go in with that tire. Going to be booping the Greymane into the middle of the fight. Potentially a mosh pit coming out. No, indeed we have the Warden. Greymane does go down. Malfurion shortly following after, and so does the Medivh. Great fight here from OSD. The Holy Ground looking to try and deny a little bit of the chase, is successful in doing so. But the Greymane going quarterfinals best of one, yes. Yep, best of one, no worries, yep. Both shrines have been captured by OSD, which means they got the Dragon Knight that's going to be going into what I believe maybe the bottom lane. They're going to be looking for that key. Vykel getting quite low, though. Going to be looking for a heal from that Stukov. Zakara playing a little bit dangerously here. Does hop out of that Nidus right in front of everybody, especially the Maiev. Out comes that... Ooh, host. Thanks, Smithel. Thank you, Smithel! As we have the Dragon Knight wailing away into that bottom keep. They're going to be looking to try and get that, as well as a tether onto the Tyrael. Tyrael does not have Sanctification for another 30 seconds, so he is definitely going to be trying to back off here. We have the punt out onto that Greymane. That's a lot of damage being removed. Out goes the stiff arm from Stukov, but Vykel getting quite low, is taking a couple of shots there from that middle keep. So they're going to be looking to try and back it out here, because they are sitting at quite low HP tank. Not enough health on that Dragon Knight to really justify going directly for the core. And all 5 members are still up for the side of Game Freaks. Now, Dragon Knight looking to try and get a little bit of poke damage here with that Fire Breath. Maybe even the Junkrat looking to try and get a little bit of poke damage. He does have that Rip Tire. They're looking to try and get down this wall and potentially a big mosh pit. Now, Sanctification is up, so the Sanctification could easily negate that mosh pit if that situation is read perfectly. They're looking for a potential engage here, as OSD sitting at a solid 3-level lead right now. They have the level 16 talent. There's not too much Game Freaks can do. They use the Cursed Bullet, and that's a mistake I see from a lot of people. Big Riptire coming out with the Warden's Cage. The Sanctification looking like it negated a ton of that damage. Great Sank, but unfortunately will not save the Greymane. The Polybomb does go out. And with that Rexar, it does make it a little bit difficult for the Misha to try not to spread it, but great macro and microing there from the Rexar player. Corgi Booty will be able to deny a huge spread of that Polybomb. Now OSD going to be looking to move into this middle keep. They do have 16 seconds before this Greymane does come back up. Zagar with a little bit of slows, but again, they don't have any hard engage because they do not have Maw or Leyline. Now, both of these heroics would allow them to interrupt or engage on something, rather. Now, I like the Leyline better than I like Polybomb because a lot of people don't know that Leyline temporarily distorts the mosh pit, so it'll interrupt it very briefly for the duration of the Leyline. So it gives you enough time to get your team out. Doesn't fully save your team, and it doesn't cancel the mosh pit, but it lets you get away. Again, it's a stasis. Medivh gonna be scouting out that bottom camp there. No problemo for them to capture that. And you have the Junkrat Silent Shoe there, gonna be grabbing that siege camp as well. Greymane gonna remain in that bottom lane with this, with the Malfurion and the Tyrael. Gonna be doing their best to try and clear that up as OSD makes their way up into the top bruisers. Try to capture that. Medivh. Jeez. Medivh, keeping an eye on them. Just trying to count for where they all are, making sure that bottom lane doesn't get too harassed. As Rexar making their way up to that top shrine, gonna be able to capture that bottom shrine, going over to the side of Game Freaks. Now, they're looking to try and get as much capture pressure as they can. It looks like they're going to be able to actually cap bottom, but a big engagement here. Do we have the Maiev go in? Unfortunately, not the case. 5v3 in that, 5v2 rather, in that middle lane, but catapults are there, and that's a lot of pressure to have to deal with, as the mid shrine is now looking to try and get captured here. Maiev with a big tether going to be pulling it out, but down goes the Sanctification. This is what ET is looking for. Do we have the mosh pit? We're looking for it right there. There's the mosh, but out comes the polybomb to interrupt the mosh. Great shield from Medivh, going to be able to deny the some of the damage, but unfortunately not going to let that the rest of his team get out. The Warden Cage into the bomb, booping people into the mosh pit. Great reaction on the polybomb, but unfortunately this means game over. The big route to finish off the Medivh, maybe? He's going to be able to get away. A little bit of extra BM kill potentially coming out there, but unfortunately will not be the case. Down will go the core. OSD taking this game and moving on to the next round. Alright, everybody, thank you for tuning in. OSD will take the victory here, making them... Let me see, who are they going to be playing? I still don't know. Let me refresh this then. Take a look. They will be either playing Team Skyark or Amazing. We'll be seeing that shortly. But who's streaming this one? Let's see. I don't know. I actually have no clue. I would love to host them, but I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw that video on. Thank you guys. Please stay tuned. I will be back on later. I think I have one more cast for sure. Let me look at this. I will be doing
let me check the schedule really quick. I got this. So that was round 2, game 4. Oh, okay. I am casting round 3, game 1, which let's take a peek over. And it looks like it will be Jailbait, who knocked off Guy's Gems, who took out my team earlier, is going to be up against Victorious Secret. So I'm going to rename, actually, how about this? Because I want to get the name on stuff. So give me 5 minutes. I will be right back. Do not leave this channel. We are going to be playing the quarterfinals in just a moment. I want to get a couple admin things done, and we'll be back with you. So hang tight, and we'll be right back.
Skip the dishes. The food you want delivered.